and I met the dude that I was married to in the past lifetime. And I'm like, really? He ran across you in 2 lifetimes? That fucking sucks. You ever go to meet a girl's parents and they're like, what's up with the wheelchair? What's your job? You're like, well, my job was my hand, but then your daughter took over the role and she's the best employee I've ever had. I can tell she drove a stick shift growing up, and the parents are like, no, she's just a whore. My neighbor's house caught on fire and I ran over. I tried running in the burning house crying. Firefighters like, dude, we got everyone out. I'm like, move, dummy. They're growing 20 pounds of pot in the attic and I threw $2,000 in on it. And speaking of the value of $1, people are like, oh, Costco sells hot dogs for $1.50. You can get hot dog in Vietnam any day of the week for $1.50. You pay an extra 50 cents and the hot dog sandwich barks at you. You pay an extra 50 cents and you get an autobiography of the dog that you just ate. So I used to like the Somalian pirates a lot better when they were on the ocean ripping off cargo ships. Now they're in Minnesota running daycares with fake children. Last time that much money went into fake kids was Sandy Hook, Connecticut. And speaking of politics, 300 years ago we used to burn witches alive. Fast forward, now instead of burning witches, we name them Hillary Clinton and almost elect him as president. And Bill's lucky he didn't have a kid with Monica. It would have gone from the Oval Office to the ovulation office. They're like, Bill, what do you want to do for Bring Your Kid to Work Day? He's like, just bring Monica back in. She's young enough to be my kid anyways. They're like, no, Bill, the kid you and Monica had. What kid? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And speaking of formidable women, I learned that the word heroine with an E at the end means female hero. I thought heroin with an E at the end just meant a heroin addict crashed an e-bike. Last time there was someone on a bike with that many drugs in their system, Lance Armstrong was crossing the finish line at the Tour de Fraud. His Livestrong bands went on people's wrists, the exact same place the handcuffs should have gone on him. He might have done a cameo in the movie Dodgeball, but he couldn't dodge a drug test. Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. Lance Armstrong put illegal shots in his moon. What do Mark Twain, the author of Huckleberry Finn, and Shania Twain, the country singer, have in common? What? Both their fan bases are country hillbillies who don't have a problem with a racial slur. Shania Twain read the updated version of Huck Finn without the derogatory term. First thing she said was, that don't impress me much. I saw an alligator tripping acid one time, and they're like, how do you know the alligator was tripping acid? I said, you fucking dummy, I was tripping acid and I saw the alligator. And another thing I have to clarify is my first kiss was in a porno, but not like my first kiss. Like the girl I first kissed, she moved to California, started getting railed on camera, and hadn't uploaded it. Unsurprisingly, her initials are BJ. I would tell you her initials, but I don't think Brittany Johnson would appreciate that very much. I think it's crazy that America thinks we can build an effective wall spanning the border of Mexico, but we couldn't build an adequate wall at the Cincinnati Zoo to stop Harambe from being killed. Come on, we can't blame Harambe. He's a lowland gorilla. People on the Epstein list got way closer to a kid. I was playing trivia with some friends. It was a 3-part question. It's like, what are these animals called in groups? So for pack, I guessed wolves. For school, I guessed fish. And then for gang, I guess misguided youth in poverty areas, and I guess elk was the answer. What do elk and gang members have in common? It's illegal for rich white men to go after them. So I was in Arizona one time hitchhiking. This guy drops me off at a rodeo and he offers me cocaine out of his sock. Do you think I did the cocaine? I'm in a wheelchair. Of course I take risks. I did the damn cocaine. And speaking of wheelchairs, I used to be in an electric chair that thought I was going to be in it for life, like a death row sentence. Now I'm in this one where I can kind of push myself, but I'm one felony away from going back to the electric for life. And going back to that Arizona trip I was on, I accidentally stayed with 2 gay nudists on Airbnb. I booked the trip and then I flew out to the bull riding clinic. They messaged me the day of my rodeo on the way to their house. They're like, are you sure you checked the profile? So I check it, and it's like me and my gay husband love hosting other gay men who want to get naked with us. It's like perfect. I got the cowboy boots and the lotion in the back. Last thing for tonight, I was on that same Arizona trip. I walked 12 miles on the highway looking for a ride. in cowboy boots with a duffel bag. I get to a gas station. I kind of see this guy down on his luck. I'm like, I'll get a ride from this sucker. He was like checking his oil. I was like, hey dude, can you give me a ride 30 minutes up the road? I'll help you with your truck. He's like, yeah. He takes a tarp off the back of the truck. He's got 4 tires and a tie rod. I don't work on cars. It takes 3 hours. We get back in the car. He lights up a bowl. I'm like, finally, something cool. It's a bowl of meth. He falls asleep on the entrance ramp. That ended up being the exit ramp for me because I got the fuck out of the car. Thank you for the time tonight.